Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Align Plans. Today we're doing something a little bit different. I thought that we would kind of just talk face to face and kind of go through this brainstorming session together on how to prepare for the 2025 planner season. I do have a lot of planners in front of me and I do have a lot of different systems that I had the opportunity to try in 2024. And I think that we all collectively feel this sense of pressure, essentially, when it comes to figuring your system, at least the outline of your system, out by September 1st, because the timeline happens to be when Hobonichi releases their new 2025 lineup. So for those of us that have been in Hobonichi, we definitely feel this sense of pressure. I mean, at least, I don't know if you feel it, but I definitely feel it. So let's talk planners. Let's talk planners. We will go a little bit, this is a new format that I'm trying. We will go a little bit back and forth between just talking to you on camera and overhead. Whenever it's relevant and it's accurate and it makes sense, I will just pop you overhead so that you can kind of see some of the systems that I'm talking about or the point that I'm making, but let's just get into it. Okay, let's talk first about just doing a brief overview of what I'm currently using or what I currently have or how I kind of started out for the year. And then that will kind of give you an idea of where I was sort of initially starting out from and then where I'm potentially going. So let's talk Hobonichis. Because obviously that's the most relevant right now, I started out with the Hobonichi Hun, which is in an A5 size. Perfect. So I started out with the Hobonichi Hun, and this is in a Galen leather cover. And it has been working really well. I really like this cover. Honestly, it never leaves my house because it's so big and bulky. And I mean, even the book itself, it's pretty heavy, it's pretty hefty. We have the whole year here. So I primarily bought this because I could not let go of the idea of not having any type of A5 size memory keeping. And so some of it is going really well. Like I was trying to keep up with some of the weeks as much as possible. For the most part, I'm failing miserably in that because I just have so many blank pages. But the weeks that I did complete, I'm quite happy with. And so that's sort of where I'm kind of having a little bit of dilemma. And then like some weeks that are filled out, they look really fantastic and I'm very happy with it. But it's also, it just becomes work. And so that's the part that I'm kind of having real trouble with. Now, as far as daily pages are concerned, I'm much more consistent. I'm much happier. I write a lot less. It definitely took me a little bit of time to kind of figure out like my actual planning style when it comes to that. So I'm gonna just like speed through. This is not a full flip through because then we're gonna be here all day. Like around, I think I would say July, and I think also maybe into August, I start to kind of feel my flow of some things that I really like how it turned out. Like I really like how this spread turned out. This is just a template. And so like some things are working really well here, which is sort of what kind of has a chokehold on me about this planner because I'm primarily using this as memory keeping, but I do find it to be relatively big. So about midway through the year, like around June, I actually switched over to a common planners. And this is in a B6 size common planner from Sterling Ink. And so you know, I'm finding that this was obviously a lot more manageable as far as size is concerned. I'm more up to date on the monthlies. They look really beautiful. I definitely love the way the spread looks whenever I'm completing them. And then with the weeklies, I'm finding myself planning in here or journaling in here really similarly how I journaled last year. And as far as like a main planner is concerned, I still wouldn't consider this to be like a necessity. Again, when weeks are filled out, it looks really beautiful. I'm really happy with it. And then when it's not, it's just kind of I'm kind of dreading it. To me, it's kind of a letdown. I do have to say that I am pretty up to date here, which is really nice. I think I only missed the week when I was actually away. And then now we're up to date for this week. So daily pages here, I'm not really using them as a daily pages. I started using them more as a commonplace book. And I did create an actual key for it. And so far, it's a slow start to this process, because I'm kind of testing it out to see if that actually works within this booklet. So this is sort of a maybe at this point. I don't really have too many plans for this. I wanted to really see this more as a potential alternative to the Hobonichi Han. And right now, they're both kind of a toss-up that I'm even questioning if I even need it at this point. Now, let's talk about the other Hobonichi, which I also got kind of a dupe for this, and this is the Hobonichi Weeks. Hobonichi Weeks has been around with me, like I think this is my 3rd year here, and I really love this. I love the size, I love how compact it is and how well it can kind of take the beading, essentially. Like I feel comfortable traveling with this. All the way up to about June, I was actually really up to date here. And then obviously the weekly side, I do have kind of like a flow and a routine of how I'm planning, like how I usually plan here. But this planner is definitely sort of like a happy medium between an outlet for creativity and also just keeping up with, you know, the day-to-day things that are kind of happening in my life. This was definitely more geared towards, I guess, like daily life, and then because it has like wellness updates in here and everything. Could I use this or change the way I'm using this in a different way? Yes. Daily pages at the very back, or like the blank pages, I'm definitely up to date here. I definitely use it really regularly all the way up to about June, July. In June, July, while I placed an order with the Common Planner, then I also wanted to really try out their, I think this is their N2H compact. So this was the little replacement for, almost like a dupe for the Hobonichi Weeks. I'm finding that it's, again, lovely, and I'm very happy here. I really love the layout. I really love a lot of the things about it. I kind of hate the fact that it's a white paper, and I know most of you really love that, and that's totally fine. It's just my preference. I'm finding that like if I'm staying here for a long period of time and I'm writing for long periods of time, my eyes do get quite fatigued and everything kind of becomes a little bit more blurry. It could just be that my eyesight is just not the same as it was before, but nevertheless, I'm finding and I'm naturally gravitating more towards booklets and notebooks that are more cream colored. It doesn't necessarily have to be yellow, but definitely more of like a muted off-white, if you will. Weekly layout, I did change the way that it lays out. I really love the way I'm setting up my weeklies here, actually. And it's not to say that I couldn't kind of duplicate this in my Hobonichi Weeks. So I think it's just going to be more of a toss-up of which one do I prefer more, which layout do I prefer more, and which experience do I prefer more. I don't have an exact answer for that, but I know that Hobonichi Weeks is definitely going to be on my list to be ordered for 2025. I'm not sure if this is coming along for the ride or not. I did travel with this, and that was also really nice. I don't feel that I really needed this because I also took my traveler's notebook with me, which was also really lovely. It was just such a nice experience. So, but I mean, the daily pages are definitely filled out. I'm doing more like brain dumps and planning and that sort of thing. So I'm using this really similarly to the way that I would use a Hobonichi Weeks. So right now I'm just really trying to figure out which one I actually prefer over the other. So this one, I feel like I still need to kind of think on it a little bit. Now let's talk about the Hibino and my ring planner. So the Hibino is one of those things where I started this out, this little booklet, as this is an A6 size 2-in-1 page. If you're not familiar, I'll just show you like a blank page here. So this, you have sort of a schedule. If you're not familiar, it gives you some icons for the weather. Then you have like this full middle section on the inner half of the left-hand side of the page. And then the other side is just completely like a full blank page with like a little focus on the calendar. I'm using this. Initially, I started out my year as my main planner. I was really hoping that I can kind of subsection this off so that it becomes more of a functional planner for me. I wasn't really enjoying that. I felt like everything had to be crammed into a small space. It's not that I didn't have enough space for sectioning, but it just felt like this really wanted to be more like a daily memory keeper. Which again, if that's true, and I have tried it as a daily memory keeper, where I did more long format writing, added a few decor, more of an outlet for creativity. I feel like this type of planner slash journal is more begging for this type of spreads, in my opinion. And so I'm very tempted to just go back to here because I really like and I really enjoy this experience. So again, this is sort of like a toss-up. I'm not exactly sure yet, but I think that this is actually coming with me, even if all I do is just create beautiful spreads and kind of create more just inspiration for kind of people like you to kind of see how to do like daily journaling like this. I do find it very therapeutic, I have to say. I was taking this with me for the month of June and July whenever we were going to the pool, and obviously you can tell that there's a little bit of a water splash there. I'm finding that this was just very therapeutic because it forced me to go more into long format, definitely use it more as a mindfulness practice. So a really big part of me does not want to let go of this for that reason. But if I have to choose between this and a Hobonichi cousin, I think I would actually choose this just based on the size and based on the fact that it's small and compact. And I'm not necessarily sure that I could do the same in the Hobonichi, in the common planner. So this one is sort of like a maybe. And then last but not least, let's talk about a little bit about my ring planner. This is a VDS cover. I haven't really done too much with this throughout the year of 2024. You've probably seen a lot more content from me about this planner in 2023, more than in 2022, when I was a little bit more heavily involved with cloth and paper, and I was part of their subscription program. I'm planning on changing this slightly only because I do really love this. There's a lot that I really love about this planner. I went with the inserts from Noted. I really hate these inserts, to be really honest. I find that it's very, very compact, very congested. It's not fun for me to fill out, which is why I usually abandon it. I'm really trying to find my flow here of why I plan here. And so I think that sort of has hindered me even reaching for this. But the main purpose of me even getting this planner set up initially was so to do a lot more functional planning. Not a lot of decor, not a lot of accessories, more just like straight up functional planning. But to be really fair, I can kind of do that in any of the other systems that I just showed you. So I do love the inserts. I like the fact that we can kind of switch things out. So there's a lot to be said about the functionality and the way that it's asking to be used. I definitely become a lot more logical in my thinking when I'm interacting with this planner, which I do love because it allows me to, especially with finance updates, I really love adding finance bundles here. I really hate adding anything creative as far as inserts are concerned into this planner. And mainly it's because that's not, in my mind, that's not how I interact with this. So I really hate adding like daily journal pages and things like that because that's not really how I relate to this planner. So I don't know if you feel this way. I know that a lot of you have like a ton of inserts in your ring bound planner, and unfortunately that just does not work for me. I really like when I add like sticky notes and things that I really wanted to highlight. It's almost like I can allow my brain to go completely free, and then I can find a way to add like the sticky notes and the highlights and the page flags and things like that to really highlight and make sure that I don't forget certain elements. So this is very much more like a work and functional family type of planner. At least that's how I started out. Right now I'm going to, in the next video, you will probably see me unboxing the Infinite Lotus sub box. So just a little spoiler alert, this will get a little refresh, which I think that this has been in the works for me for quite some time, to just get things refreshed and then see how I feel about it. And if it's not working, then I'm happy to just completely chuck it and let it go for 2025. So that's it about planners. And as far as journals are concerned, I'm definitely planning on bringing back both my regular sized and my little passport sized traveler's notebook. The main purpose here, this might actually just become, because it's so small and compact, this and the weeks, these might be my on-the-go systems. To be fair, I definitely want to keep this. I definitely want to kind of play around with this a lot more. So I did buy some new inserts, one of them being, so I revived this one, which is just a normal cream colored dot grid insert. And this is from Yamamoto paper. I also got this little leather wallet insert, which allows me to add like a couple of cards for decor or whatever. And then it has like a little zipper pouch where we can add either money, or you can use it as a wallet, or just whatever you need. I really love this. The leather feels very soft and beautiful. I also bought new patches that I want to get sewn on. So I do want to kind of make it my own, and I think it would be fun. I also bought this new insert. It's just a basic weekly undated insert from Traveler's Notebook. So look how simple that is. And I mean, like, there's something to be said about like these really simple layouts where I can add like just a few details of something that I don't want to forget, or something that comes up, whether it comes up in the clinic or it comes up in online planning. Because I have so many avenues that I kind of have to keep an eye out on, I do love having multiple systems available for that. So I bought the weekly, and I also had a monthly in here, also from Traveler's Notebook. And I just kind of started keeping track of just, you know, almost like daily memory keeping type of thing. But I do see this as becoming more functional than anything else. And then with the large one, again, I wanted to kind of simplify it, but also utilize the inserts that I have. So I do have a weekly insert. This is from Baumkuchen. Very cute. Now that it's starting to get filled out, I feel like this could actually fully replace my my Hobonichi cousin, which is why I'm kind of on the fence with Hobonichi cousin. You know what I mean? I do love the flexibility that once this booklet is done, I can just move on and I can kind of change up my layouts. Whereas I don't feel that the Hobonichi cousin gives me that level of flexibility. I also bought a new insert. This is just a basic dot grid insert from Traveler's Notebook. Is it? Yeah, it's from Traveler's Notebook. I already had a monthly in here, so I'm planning on just finishing this. And again, adding like these larger stickers and just getting really creative with my spreads. I think it will give me that level of creative outlet that I have been craving, that I felt like I could only achieve within a planner, within like a book-bound planner. So I think in a nutshell, I do have kind of like most of my answers of what's going to be cut for 2025, and I'm glad that I tried them, but I'm also glad that I found, you know, the insight that it does not work for me moving forward. And to be fair, none of these things are really set in stone anyway. These are just the things that I'm more naturally drawn to right now. And as far as notebooks are concerned, I have multiple. I still do love my little B6 size Stalogy. This is also for just content creation, for outlining videos, that sort of thing. So you will never actually see this here. I did buy this from Baumkuchen. This is a fabric cover or canvas cover. And it does have a B6 Slim. I know. And this B6 Slim notebook, I mean, I have such a joy and such a pleasure using Midori notebooks. There's something that's just like pulling me in when it comes to that. So I think that this is going to be almost like a brain dump that will just kind of travel with me everywhere. And it's going to have a different purpose than, let's say, the Traveler's Notebook. Because sometimes, as much as I love how cute and compact this is, I don't think that this is nearly enough space to do a full brain dump and to do like daily journaling. There's definitely one thing that I have noticed about the passport size, that it's fantastic when it's with me, so that I have something where I can jot things down, but I don't find it to be big enough for me to keep note taking. And this B6 Slim is perfect because if you, okay, I put them away, but I bought a couple of A6 size notebooks and just recently, and so it's really cool that I can kind of keep it all in like one place. And I love that it's not just, I believe that Stalogy also makes B6 Slim size notebooks as well, but I mean just having like an on-the-go brain dump type of, I'm planning on just using this as commonplace book, to be really fair. So this will be like a really nice complement or like a really nice companion to any of the main systems that I'm using. Whew. I think we've done an excellent job in brain dumping. So here's me giving you some advice, I guess, now that I have talked through some of my systems. I think the main thing to kind of keep in mind when you're kind of looking at your systems is to spend some time reflecting. I think it's very, very important to take a look at each system individually. Don't try to compare them to others. You can compare them to others once you've kind of funneled through and you've looked at what was working for you, what was not working for you, and why. And really understanding that sometimes you get drawn to certain systems because it creates a sense of simplicity, and other times we get drawn to certain systems because it offers a solution, or it offers something that your current system might be lacking. And so it's very easy to get overshadowed, like our basic needs of what our intentions are with certain systems or with certain planners. Sometimes that gets overshadowed by the influence or the inspiration that we see from other creators. So don't, just kind of keep that in mind. And I also find that once you have kind of written down and reflected on what your current system was and what the intention was behind you getting those systems, then take a look at how those current systems rank, and then what is available that might be a better alternative. So me talking to you through my own review of my own current systems that I have access to, I'm kind of reflecting and looking at what I'm naturally drawn to, and what is something that I will have no problem letting go of because it was not functionally working for me for quite some time, but I was just not ready to acknowledge it and let it go. So I hope that you find this helpful. I would love to know in the comment section below of how your current system is working for you. If you are ready for 2025 in the planner, is your planner system ready for 2025 yet? Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, as always, keep planning, keep journaling, keep doing all the things. And I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Bye.